What up, what up? This is Coach Liebs, and welcome to Wide Receiver Film Room Episode 10. This episode is featuring Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Stefon Diggs. He had a huge game and a win over the Eagles, 7 catches, 167 yards, and 3 touchdowns. One of the better performances we've seen from a wide receiver thus far this season in the NFL, but a game where Steph left so many opportunities on the field. Even with the big numbers he put up, he had 2 drops in this game and a couple other lapses that I think could have led to big plays. I think the world of Stefon Diggs. I think he has as much talent as anybody in the league. He just needs to play with consistent effort and consistent focus and build his game around out-competing everybody on every single play. I think if he does that and he refines a few things in his game, he has as much talent as anybody, and the sky is the limit for this kid. But all in all, this breakdown is a great lesson for all wide receivers and coaches and football fans. You're going to see a lot of big plays. You're going to see a lot of great plays. But you're also going to see some mistakes that cost him and could have put more numbers on the board. So without further ado, Wide Receiver Film Room Episode 10. This is Minnesota Vikings wide receiver Stefon Diggs. All right, let's get started here. First play of the game. Steph's down bottom here, single receiver. All right, Steph, you're just going to run a nice hitch route. You know, first play of the game, second outside trigger step, loose coverage. You know, this is stealing. And I think similar to basketball, right, where if you're a point guard in basketball, you want to be very conscious of getting your shooters going early. Get the ball in their hands, let them get into a rhythm, and see if they can get hot and kind of carry your team to a victory. I think that's the same thing you want to do as a quarterback when you have a great wide receiver. Simple hitch route, 4-yard gain, but you're getting the ball into your best player's hands early and let him get hot, let him get some touches, and get into a rhythm. And I think that's all this is here. All right, here's the second play of the game now, and just watch this play. It's going to end up being a no play, but watch the route combination up top by Diggs and Thielen. All right, and just watch how this plays out, and just remember this play. All right, it ends up being a penalty, but watch them run this kind of crossing concept. Steph sticks his arm in the air as if he's going deep. Okay, just important that they finish this concept out, that Steph sold the deep ball, and just remember this play because we'll come back to it, and it will get Steph a completion later on. All right, they're going to run a reverse to Diggs, and a really great job by Cousins out there lead blocking on the DB. A solid 10-yard gain, but you're going to see him react to this. He really missed a huge cutback lane here, and just didn't do a great job of reading the block by Cousins. Cousins has the block on the defender's inside shoulder. You know, Steph would be better off cutting this back and trying to make one guy miss, and I think there's more yards to be gained if he cuts this back, and you can see him kind of grabbing his head afterwards as if he knew that was a missed opportunity. Great effort by the quarterback lead blocking. You know, a solid 10-yard gain, you're always going to take it, but on this reverse, you're hoping for something a little bigger, and he's got blockers in front, and I think if he cuts his back inside like you see, there's a lane there to pick up some more yards. Here's an example here. Here's where I think Steph gets into the most trouble. There's times where he's just out of control, where he's just moving a little too fast. He's not really tuned into the fundamentals, and he's just trying to move with speed and be super quick twitch, and he kind of falls all over himself here at the top. You can see he takes a false step with that front foot. Like, we would really prefer to roll off that front foot, not pick it up and put it down, because now he's taking these first 2 steps off the line. He hasn't gone anywhere. And because his feet haven't gone anywhere, but he's trying to gain ground so fast, he stumbles all over himself and ends up getting covered up pretty good. But then you can see the recovery. It shows you how good this kid really is. Like, he's falling all over himself. He's tripping. He has no reason to get any sort of separation here. And he's still able to regain his balance, fight through the contact, keep fighting, and win over the top to the point where, you know, he's got a chance to catch this ball from Cousins. It's just slightly overthrown because Steph got held up so much. But just what I think is the biggest flaw in Steph's game is just control and poise and trusting his technique. And I think if some of those things can be cleaned up, the kid is going to go through the roof. Like, I really think that Stefon Diggs can be so good. But I see reps like this, he has one-on-one coverage against the corner that he's better than, and he's taking opportunities off the board because he's not super tuned into his technique. I didn't think he had a great plan. I thought he was rushing a little bit, and he just needs to play with a little bit more poise. A little bit more poise, a little bit more focus throughout a 60-minute football game, and I think you're going to see Steph's career completely take off. All right, so now here's a now ball to Adam Thielen down bottom, and similar to the play we talked about earlier, just remember this play, okay? It's going to come back, and the Vikings are going to see something, and they clearly want to attack this corner number 22 down here, and they're just going to give Thielen a chance to make a move in open field. All right, he kind of attacks a kid outside, goes to run inside, and the corner makes a good tackle. Thielen's not quite as explosive as Diggs, and then you see Malcolm Jenkins, the weak safety, coming over to rally quickly to make that tackle in the alley. All right, so they run that play, nice 4-yard gain. Watch the adjustment now later in the game that the Vikings make to attack the same corner on the same play. Now they got 2 receivers to the side. Here's Thielen in the slot. Thielen's going to run a 1-yard slant to take Malcolm Jenkins out of there, and now you get Diggs with more room to win inside. Diggs is a little bit twitchier than Thielen. He's a little bit more explosive than Thielen, but they saw on the previous rep that they can attack this corner outside, get him to jump out there, and give yourself room to win inside. Diggs catches it, attacks him outside, and then he wins inside, and he's going to use his explosiveness to gain 12, 15, 16 yards. Diggs' next target comes with 12 minutes left in the second quarter, and they're going to run a cover 4 beater and hit Stefon Diggs over the top on this skinny post. And if you guys watched the previous wide receiver film room breakdown on Mike Evans, Mike scored on a very, very similar play against the Giants. Another cover 4 beater, okay, with a cut split, trying to run this skinny post against quarters. Here's how the Vikings make this play work. Diggs is in a cut split. He's about 5-6 yards from the tackle. Anytime a receiver is that tight, it's forcing the defensive back to play with outside leverage, right? Because when you leave that much room to the sideline, you can't afford to play with head up or inside leverage because it's too easy to win on an outbreaking route. You have too much space out there. So when they align that tight, it forces the leverage of the corner. So now the Vikings know that Diggs on this skinny post already has the advantage. He already has the inside lane to go win and run this post. All right, now all you got to do is take care of this quarter safety right here who's standing in between the hash and the numbers. All right, and they do that with a hard run action, and then watch the over route by Thielen in the slot who's coming to attack that safety. They must have known on film who the safety keys into on these run plays, right? I think this was a very schemed up play where based on down and distance, based on field position, based on personnel, okay, the Vikings knew they were going to get the Eagles into too high and get them into quarters coverage. For this corner thinks he has inside help, right? He thinks that guy's going to drop with him and there's going to be some sort of bracket coverage on Diggs here and he's going to have inside help. But the safety's eyes get on this over route. He gets tempted by the over route. He stays flat-footed and stays underneath to jump that. And Diggs wins with speed over the top. Really good ball by Cousins. Really good route by Diggs. Just winning with speed over the top. But mostly just a really well schemed up play versus look from the Eagles. And that's Diggs' first big touchdown of the game. All right, next target's going to come with about 9.5 minutes left in the second quarter. And this is when the Vikings are rolling. Back-to-back throws to Diggs. And this is just a coverage bust here by the Eagles. All right, you can see the post safety at the snap is showing a 1-high look. But I really think that they wanted to play cloud coverage. They wanted to play cover 2 over Diggs here. Because watch the way the corner plays. All right, the corner's looking in at the quarterback and he's trying to jump any sort of in-breaking route. He's got the flat. All right, he's trying to jump anything to the flat. He's trying to take away any slants or curls by Diggs. But you can see clearly the corner doesn't think that he's a deep third player. Right? The corner thinks he has help over the top. That's why he's stopping his feet. Okay, watch the play design here by the Vikings again. They're going to run a hard play action. They're going to bootleg out of it. And then here comes the receiver kind of running that 10-yard over route, and that entices the safety. And the safety has his eyes in the backfield to defend the run game first. And now he sees the over route, and he goes to grab that. And then next thing you know, Diggs is over the top for a touchdown because there's no help over the top. Busted coverage there by the Eagles. Really good recognition by Kirk Cousins. And just a pretty easy job by Diggs. Not much to it here from Diggs. The biggest thing that Steph needed to make sure he did was take this outside release. If he were to release inside the corner, the safety's definitely going to get eyes on him, and he's going to see that, and he's going to carry him. But because he gets outside, the corner loses vision on him when he gets to the blind spot. The safety gets enticed by all the things happening right in front of him. He forgets to get over the top to defend Diggs, and that's an easy 6 points for the Vikings. Back-to-back throws, back-to-back 50-plus yard touchdowns. And as the Eagles, you're just not going to win many games if you give up plays like this. And as the Vikings, when you have these opportunities, you got to take advantage, which they do here. All right, now 2-minute drill before the half. 1:51 seconds left in the half. All right, here's the first play of the 2-minute drive. And Diggs doesn't get the ball here, but another important rep just to watch that's going to come up later on. Diggs is running a speed out here up top, okay, from a cut split. So two really, really important lessons here that I think we can learn from. All right, first of all, he ends up gaining separation right at the end of this route because he pulls himself friendly. Watch how he looks pretty blanketed when he makes his break, but he ends up gaining 2 or 3 yards of separation because he keeps finishing downhill. Finish downhill, pull yourself friendly, and that's how you're going to gain separation from the DB. All right, if Kirk were to throw this ball downhill towards the sidelines, Diggs is going to catch this ball, and there's enough separation to make the play here. All right, but now the next kind of coaching point I want to help you guys with is here's another strategy, right? You're running an out route versus outside leverage corner. Kind of a tough situation sometimes. And you can see Diggs, all he does is he keeps spraying it outside, try to capture the DB's outside shoulder, but there's nothing to make the DB feel threatened back inside. and all his body language tells are telling the corner, hey, I'm breaking out. Watch this rep by Deshaun Jackson from earlier in the season. He stems outside, but then gives that last minute nod vertical. And that vertical nod, that forces the corner to defend a go ball, makes him flip his hips, and then Deshaun Jackson can break it outside and get to the sideline with much, much more separation. Okay, on top of that, that vertical nod is the indicator for the quarterback to throw the ball. As soon as the quarterback sees you nod vertical, he knows that he can release the ball right there, and your next step is going to be to snap it outside, and the timing's going to be perfect, and it's impossible to defend. So just a good little nuance that I think anybody who's running an out route versus outside leverage corner, you can use this. I think it's something that would have helped Stefon Diggs here. Stem outside, give that last second vertical nod. That's the quarterback's indicator to throw you the ball and then break out. And you're really going to put the corner in a tough spot because he has to defend that vertical push. And there's no way he's going to recover to that outbreaking route. All right, a couple plays later in the 2-minute drive, and this is a mistake that's really going to end up costing them. All right, you're almost in field goal range. You're about 20 yards away. Really good disguise here by the Eagles. You're going to see some good defense here by the Eagles. Okay, watch the safety come screaming down right there. So right here, if we pause it, everything about this look is screaming cover 0, which anyone who watches Jim Schwartz's defense knows that he loves to bring the house. Okay, it's 3rd and 12 right here. You can see Cousins sees this look. He stops everything. He checks the play. And now, right before the ball snap, they break into a cover 3 look. Okay, so really good job by the Eagles disguising coverage. They end up getting into a zone look. All right, Diggs ends up running kind of to the sideline and gets past the flat defender, but before that corner, and sits in that little void on the sideline, kind of like a cover 2 honey hole, but it just plays out as a 1-high look here. But you can see he's open on the sideline, kind of working scramble drill, making himself available on the sideline for Cousins. Good job by him, but then he drops the football. And it's like, Steph, come on, bro. Like you can't have these mistakes in crucial moments. Like, if you're truly a great player, great players do not drop balls like this in crucial moments, where now not only do you drop it, it gets deflected all the way into the air and ends up being picked off when you're trying to put more points on the board and win a football game. Huge mistake here by Diggs, and one that you just cannot have. You cannot have these mistakes. You cannot want to be considered one of the top 10 receivers in the NFL and drop footballs when you're wide open on the sideline. It's just inexcusable, and it's one that I get upset about because I see the potential in Steph, and he's so much better than this. But like I said in the intro, it's just, to me, a slight lack of focus. It's not looking the ball in all the way. It's not having full extension with your hands. It's just getting a little complacent with those details and thinking, you know, I'm good. I'm going to catch the ball like I always do. But the minute you let the details slip is when mistakes like this happen, and you just cannot have it, and you have to be better than this. What I will give Steph credit for is he didn't hang his head, right? So watch Cousins roll out. Watch him drop the ball on the sideline. He gets pushed out of bounds. But now here comes Steph screaming back into the field of play and makes a tough tackle right there and a pretty violent collision. So I give him credit for making up for the mistake and making that tackle and being violent and finishing the play. But just one that we can't have. We can't have drops when you're wide open, and especially drops that lead to turnovers. Like, it's just unacceptable. All right, now here's Steph's next target in the second half. There's 12 minutes left in the third quarter. And this was a rep that I really didn't like, and he gets bailed out with a bad pass interference call here. So let me explain to you, and I'm a receivers coach saying this, and I will never allow my guys to call for flags. Okay, he's running an out and up. Pretty bad route in my opinion. Like, he doesn't ever, so watch his route. It's nothing about Diggs' body language that sells that he's trying to break out and win on this route. All of his steps are short, all of his steps are choppy. Okay, he doesn't give the out cut enough time to breathe to actually sell it. He's just rushing everything. All right, he's just rushing it. It needs to be a violent, explosive cut to the sideline to sell the out cut, but instead Diggs is cutting pretty passively. All right, he's not really breaking off that and selling full speed like he's running the out. All his steps are short and choppy. Just, again, nothing to push the corner off and sell the double move. All right, and then not only that, when you push vertical as the receiver, it is your responsibility to hold your ground and hold your line. Okay, on the practice field, the NFL teams, they have what they call a red line, splitting the numbers in the sideline. Okay, it's about 5 yards from the sideline, that red line. Coaches say all the time, hold your red line because you need space for the quarterback to throw you to the sideline. You can't get pushed out of bounds. All right, Steph does a terrible job of that here. He does not hold his red line at all. He pushes vertical. He doesn't fight pressure with pressure. He doesn't lean into the DB, and he just lets the DB run him to the sideline. This is a great rep by the DB. Okay, the DB has just as much right to the space as Steph does. Okay, so all he's doing is taking ownership of that space. If Steph wants the space back, he better lean into him, he better fight pressure with pressure, and he better hold his ground. It is his responsibility to hold his ground. It is not the corner's responsibility to just let him take that lane. Okay, the corner has every right to the lane that Stefon Diggs does. I think this is great coverage by the cornerback. It should not be a pass interference call, and Steph gets bailed out. This is a bad rep by Steph Diggs right here, and he gets bailed out by a soft call by these referees that are just trying to ruin the game one by one. All right, now a few plays later, we got 10 minutes and 55 seconds left in the third quarter. All right, another crucial mistake by Diggs, a bad little stretch here by him. Down bottom, you're running a stop route, you get press bail coverage, you get the blind spot. All right, you're wide open. Steph, you do a great job running off the ball with speed. You do a great job selling vertical, but then you're looking to run with the ball before you catch it and you drop the ball. Again, like, do you end up winning the game by 17 points? Sure. Does it really affect the outcome of the game? In this game, no. But in the most crucial games, in a playoff game, this play could mean everything. It could kill a drive and take points off the board, and now your season's over. Again, it's just not acceptable. You're not allowed to drop these balls if you're a great player. Hey, if you want to be an average player, all right, if you want to be the number 30th ranked receiver in the NFL, go ahead, drop a ball every once in a while. If you want to be top 10, top 5 in the NFL, as good as I think you can be, Steph, you cannot have these plays. You absolutely cannot have these mental lapses, and it's just lack of focus, right? It's one thing if you're going against a great corner and you get locked up because it's a great one-on-one matchup and he's going to win his reps and you're going to win your reps, and it's a physical mistake. I can live with that. Right, I can live with some guys just getting you sometimes. These DBs are incredible in the NFL, so sometimes they're just going to get you. But to take catches to take yards off the board, and to take catches off the board, and take your stats away because of lack of focus, it's just not acceptable. Get your head right, focus on the details, stop being so complacent with all these things, and grow up and catch the football. All right, next target now, 6 minutes left in the third quarter, okay? Remember that play that I mentioned earlier, the second play of the game to keep an eye on. Well, here we go. Same formation, same coverage. Here goes that scissors concept. But now instead of running deep, Steph is going to shut it down on the curl, and he could not be more wide open. And again, just a really, really cool way to see how coaches are one step ahead, how the offenses stay one step ahead from the defense. All right, on a busted play, the coaches saw from up top how loose the coverage was when they ran the scissors concept earlier in the game, but both guys kept going. So now the next time they run this set, they get the same coverage, but instead they call Steph to stop. And I actually think that this is probably a read route by Steph. I think that he's reading the depth of these defenders, and when he sees them backing off and defending vertical, he has the option to either shut it down or run over the top. Okay, I'm guessing that this was a read route by him, which is why Kirk is so late with the ball. I think Kirk maybe was expecting him to keep running deep, and this is not good by Kirk Cousins. He needs to be much earlier with this ball. You can see him kind of double and triple clutching in the pocket before he throws the ball, and now Steph has nowhere to go with it. He has to drop to his knees, and he gets tackled right away, whereas he has enough room to catch and pierce and get some more. But Kirk is late. So based on all this, I do think it was a read route by Diggs. He made the right read. He shuts it down right in this void. He's wide open. And just a great job by Diggs and a great job by the offensive coordinator taking information from a previous play in the game and now using it to get a first down here. And I can't speak enough about how important that is in a 60-minute football game where every yard counts, every first down counts. To be able to take that information and use it effectively and earn yourself a first down with it, that's what great football teams do. That's what great football players do. And a good example of that here by the Vikings and by Diggs. All right, now the very next play in the third quarter. All right, and as much as I wanted to get on Steph for some of the drops he had, this play right here makes up for a drop. Just an outstanding play by Steph. Watch him up top. Okay, he's gonna run a slant route versus inside leverage press, and just watch his plan. It's just a really good job. He's gonna run right outside, sell vertical, and then snap it inside on the dime and release. What wins on this route is how much he commits to the outside and just stops on a dime. Watch him run outside full speed. Get running outside and then stop on a dime and come underneath, break friendly, and make a tough catch. Like just again, is anyone gonna overhype this besides me? Probably not, right? Like I get really hyped about an 8-yard catch on first down because this is just the quality stuff that great veteran receivers do. Is it a huge play in the stat sheet? No. But this is what real pros do. This is what great players do. They just win on every single rep. And just a great example here from Steph. Another reverse to Steph, and on this one, they're actually looking to throw the football. Smart play by Steph here. You know, you're hoping for a wide open play. You're hoping for a wide open receiver on a play like this where he can make an easy throw. Everyone's pretty blanketed, so he protects the football, makes something out of nothing, and ends up gaining 10 yards. You know, smart, headsy play. Again, another great veteran play that doesn't show up as anything crazy in the stat sheet. Just looks like a 10-yard rush. If he had thrown it up and it had gotten picked, you know, that's a game-changing play. He's smart with the football. He protects the ball, which is the most important thing, and he ends up making, you know, a good play out of what could have been a disaster. All right, here we go in the red zone now. And remember, I told you to be mindful about Stefon Diggs running a out route from a cut split. Well, here it is again in the red zone. Cut split, outside leverage corner. Watch him sell the out route and then redirect to the post. And he beats the corner across his face and makes a great catch in the back of the end zone. And this is what I'm talking about. This is why when I see Stefon Diggs, I get so excited. The kid can be so good. He has all the talent in the world. Okay, you cannot teach this ability to make routes look the same and then stop on a dime running full speed and redirect to the post like this. Just an outstanding route by Diggs. Okay, slide him to the right, sell that you're running the out route with your body language and with your eyes, and then stick it on one step on a dime and get back to the post. You can't teach this. And there's not that many receivers in the NFL that can do it and sell the out route like this and transition so fluidly. He has so much ability. He's so good. He's so talented. And plays like this prove it. I just think his focus needs to be on a totally different level, plan and play out for him to take that next step. His focus, his attention to detail just need to increase, and you're going to see more and more of these plays. The kid is spectacular. I'm a huge fan of him. I really hope he keeps growing, and I really hope he keeps excelling in this league. All right, this is the last important play here from Steph. This one's pretty much going to seal the game, all right? They're down in the red zone again. The Vikings are up 11, okay? There's 9.5 minutes left in the game, so still some time. And if they kick a field goal here, it's a 2-score game. If you score a touchdown here, it's a 3-score game, and the game's effectively over. All right, so here's Steph up top, the top receiver in this bunch look. All right, and he's going to run kind of like a dagger post. He's going to stem out and then try and break across the corner's face in the back of the end zone. And he does a great job just making a move at the top, giving some rocket steps at the top to get the DB on his heels and then breaking across his face. And he tries to split 2 defenders, end up drawing a pass interference call, which is a valid pass interference call for sure. He gets tackled. All right, and then you can see him doing the snow angel because he knows that he's effectively won the game right there. That, you know, you got 1st and 10 or 1st and goal at the 1-yard line. They score a touchdown, the game's over. So he knows right then and there, like, oh, I just did my job. Just a weird concept from the Vikings, like running this tight end out like that kind of brings the defender into Steph's lane, and that's why he can't get through clean. You know, I don't know if this was a mistake by Rudolph, the tight end. I just feel like the concept itself would work better if he just ran to the flat right away, and then you get that flat defender out of the window, which is what they're trying to do. They're trying to open up that window to Steph, but because Rudolph runs right at where Steph's path is, he brings the flat defender into Steph's way and gets jammed up. But still, gets the job done. Steph does a great job fighting through contact, drawing the flag, and that's your ball game right there. Vikings win 38-21, and a really great performance from Stefon Diggs. One where, you know, I wish he had done a little more, but just incredible watching this kid play. I'm a huge fan.
From the sidelines, we gotta hustle because we gotta eat.
And that's all we've got for Wide Receiver Film Room episode 10. That was Stefon Diggs with, like I said, just an incredible performance by him, but one that could have been even better. And you hate to see some of the missed opportunities, but you hope that he's looking at the film the same way, trying to learn from those mistakes, trying to correct them. And if he can just play with more effort and more focus on a consistent basis and outcompete people for a full 60 minutes, I'm telling you, this kid won't be guarded. I think that he has all the talent in the world, and he just needs to put it all together and be a pro's pro and come to work every single day trying to be the most competitive dog out there. And I think this kid is going to be phenomenal. So really excited to see what the future holds for Stefon Diggs. I really love watching him play, and I hope that we feature him again on this show very soon. As always, if you like this content, if you enjoy these breakdowns, please share this with your friends. Please leave your thoughts in the comments, and of course, like it and show us some love. We're trying to grow this platform as much as possible and blow these wide receiver film rooms up. As always, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Sideline Hustle. That's the most direct place to get in contact with me. I will answer every single DM in a timely fashion. So if you have a question or you want to talk about something, hit me on Instagram, hit me on Twitter at Sideline Hustle, and we can talk there. But that's a wrap for Wide Receiver Film Room episode 10. This is Coach Lieb signing out. Until next time, peace.